This week's question we're looking at is what happens after death? More specifically, I think that question is really what happens after I die, or what happens after one of my loved ones die. And I remember before I was a Christian, this question would haunt me. I would think about it often. I would contemplate it. I would fear death so much because I did not know what would happen to me after that, in that time of my life after I died. And I remember many times partying and doing different things and coming home, driving home from that and thinking, what would happen if I just drove off the side of the road right now? And that question literally just haunted me of what would take place after I died. And I think that's a question that all of us want to know. And when we talk about it biblically and from a Christian worldview, there are three different positions that people have stated saying what happens to us after we die. One, a position is referred to as the soul sleep, and says that basically our bodies are put in the ground and our soul just takes a big nap until Jesus returns. Another one is that there's an immediate judgment after we die, that the final judgment for us takes place there. And then the final one, the third view, is that there's literally like a temporary heaven and hell that exists for this period of time, and then there will be a permanent one when Jesus returns again. And I think clearly the biblical worldview lands us on that third one, that there is a temporary place that either we go to a temporary heaven or a temporary hell after we die. I think the Bible teaches this clearly. When we think about the place of that we go to after we die, I think one of the clearest pictures of this is the thief on the cross. When Jesus was hanging on the cross and he was in the midst of two thieves and he was hanging there, and one of those thieves during that point in time were actually repenting and wanted to know how they could be saved. And Jesus promised these words to him. He told him that this day you will be with me in paradise. So that there was a place that he was going to go to during that time. We know the Apostle Paul also reminded us in 2 Corinthians 5, verses 6 through 8, and he stated that to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So our bodies are placed in the ground, or if there's a tragic accident, or if the body gets burnt, whatever takes place, the soul and the body separate, and the soul certainly goes into the place with the Lord if a person is trusting in Christ. And we also know there's another illustration for the unbeliever, that there's a place of torment that they go to, a temporary hell that they're at. The story of this man, this rich man and Lazarus. This isn't the Lazarus that Jesus brought back to life. This is a different Lazarus, one who was crippled and destitute, and literally his life here on earth was like a living hell. And he would sit outside and beg at this rich man's place. And this rich man's place to him here on earth was like a heaven. But at the end, the rich man died and he went to this place of torment, and we see in this illustration that he was crying out to just get some ease from this place of torment that he was in. And here Jesus is teaching that there is a place of punishment that a person goes to right now. And this is a temporary place until Christ does return. For the believer, the place that we go to right now when a person passes away, that is not our future hope. That is not our final destiny. Because there's a day coming when our bodies will be resurrected and united with our souls after Jesus comes back again. The believer at this point will then be welcomed to the new heaven and the new earth, based on Revelation 21:1. And at this point also, the unbeliever, the person who never trusted Christ, will be sent to the lake of fire. And when this takes place, when Jesus returns, here everyone will remain in one of these two places throughout all of eternity.